So everyone's been asking, when am I going to do the review of my TVR Tuscan? And I have good news for you. It is coming. It's in the works. There's a lot of things that take place in order to do a good review. But in the meantime, I wanted to share a quick video about one of the first changes I'm going to do to my TVR Tuscan now that it's here in the United States. Of all the weird and quirky things about the TVR Tuscan, possibly the most annoying is that the battery is inside of the fender. And the only way to access the battery itself is either through the wheel well by taking off a panel, or using your jumper cables that are very specific to just this car underneath the left fender. Since I now had the wheel off and the panel off in the wheel well, I had access to the battery to remove all the cables and get the battery out as well. So this, my friends, is an Anderson connection, and this is why you need to replace and relocate the connector, the battery connector for a TVR Tuscan. You can actually look deep inside and see that one of the terminals is actually completely corroded off. So this actually was an issue when bringing my Tuscan over to the United States and the battery was dead. They weren't able to use the Anderson connector to jump the car because, well, it wasn't getting any power at all. All right, so in the place of the Anderson connector, I actually got this generic battery terminal relocation kit from Amazon for about 30 bucks. So this will allow me to mount it on the inside of the engine bay, route the lines to the battery, and once again, have an easier way of jump starting the car should the battery die. So something of note is that I had the hood lift conversion done for the main bonnet, or the main hood. So there's two hoods. You have the little baby hood, and then you have the main big hood. The little tiny hood shows you just some like your basic service fluids, very similar to what Porsche does now with the 911s. But the main hood is what you need to have access to your entire engine. Now, from the factory, these were originally bolted down, very similar to Porsche. You had your access panel and then you have your main access. However, I did a hood lift conversion, so because of this, I am able to do this modification with very little work. So anyone who does buy a Tuscan, make sure you have the lift conversion done. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck relocating your battery or doing terminals to the trunk, something other than what I was able to do today. But ultimately, with the new battery connector terminals in the engine bay, it's time for me to put the battery back in, connect everything else together, put the panel back on, put the wheel on, and I'm done. So this actually was only about maybe 2-3 hours. It's totally worth it, but until next time, keep driving.